Hi, my name is Nick Starchild. I'm a black transgender man who lives in the San Francisco Bay Area. I make videos about my life, mostly about travel, food, and women's sports. But today I'm talking about moving out of the United States and specifically moving to Mexico. So let's get into it. So why am I moving to the why am I moving to Mexico? Well, there's a lot of reasons. I have another video about my experiences in the San Francisco Bay Area, amongst other things. I have a couple of videos actually. So if you want to watch the couple of videos right before this one, it will tell you essentially why I'm leaving the United States. And then now I want to talk about why am I going to Mexico specifically? Why Mexico? So let's get into it. First of all, the cost of living. So cost of living is so much cheaper in Mexico. You could live in Mexico for $24,000, a year, like net, and be very comfortable. You probably could live on a lot less. I'm saying $24,000 a year based on me and my partner. So the two people, you can live there very comfortably. So if you have a remote job, it's quite easy and comfortable place to live. It's on most of the country is on Central Time. So yeah, it's an obvious option for those who are dealing with a very expensive United States and are looking for other options. Mexico is right there. You can come back to the United States quite easily. It makes a lot of sense. The weather's better. So many things, right? You have the same amenities as you do in the United States. So, you got your grocery stores, you got your pharmacies, you got all the things that you need, doctors and things. The only difference is easier to access these things. So going to the doctor or going to the pharmacist, you don't need insurance. You can pay out of pocket and it won't cost you that much money. You won't, break your bank not having insurance there. So that's a huge thing because, United States, you have a medical issue here, you can become bankrupt, and that doesn't happen in Mexico, although they are a little bit more strict about like paying in cash for things and paying things up front. So if you don't have insurance, you have to pay in cash. You got to pay it. You can't just be like sitting in the hospital for days and weeks. They won't let you. So that is something to consider. But otherwise, all the same amenities. The healthcare is better. You don't need prescriptions to get most things at the pharmacy. There's tons of stores, there's tons of convenience stores, there's Walmarts, there's Sam's Clubs, so you can get your main staples if you're looking for American brands. They're gonna be there. There's lots of stores there'll be stores in certain cities that are Americanized stores, so they'll have imports from America for you. Of course, it's gonna be at a premium, but you can get your stuff right away. There's Amazon, there's it's the same as here, except it's Mexico, and it's just a little bit different in terms of culture. The living in Mexico is so ideal because of location. So it's Central America, right? So you're right next to all the other Central American countries. You got Belize, you got Honduras, you got Guatemala, you got Costa Rica, you got Panama. I probably missed one. But yeah, they're all, all those countries are right there. And then you're right next to South America. So you can go to Colombia, Argentina, Uruguay, all of these places are just right there. So that's kind of convenient. You're in between the South and North America. So you could just go, it's not crazy to go back and forth. Let's talk about violence. So now a lot of people talk about Mexico. It's oh, it's so violent there, all those cartels and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, that's only if you live in certain cities, in certain certain states that have the cartels and that are doing those businesses or doing those dealings. If you don't do drugs and you're not living in those places, then you're not going to deal with those kind of things. It's not going to happen to you. It's the same as in the Bay Area, people will be like, oh, you live in the Bay Area, it's so dangerous, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, it is not. There are certain places that are dangerous. Yes, certain areas, certain times of day, but the entire place is not dangerous. And honestly, there are certain neighborhoods that are not dangerous at all. So, that would be the same case in Mexico. There are certain cities that are more safe than others, right? So going to Puerto Vallarta, which, is going to be pretty safe. It's a tourist town. It's a port city. All the boats come in. All the cruise boats come in. People live there. Expats live there. There's going to be some crime, of course. There's going to be muggings and pickpocketing and things like that. But there's not going to be murders, murders on the regular. That's not going to be happening. Shootings. That's just not going to be happening, Another case in point, Merida. Merida is one of the safest places on the planet, not let alone Mexico. And there's just no crime there because they have a very strong military presence and they have a very strong, wealthy government. So there's not a lot of crime. And I'm like, yeah, I want to go to places that are affordable and don't have a lot of crime. and that is Mexico, you know. Another reason why we're going to Mexico is because my partner is actually half Mexican and her grandparents are from Mexico, and we have their paperwork, so she is actually eligible to become a Mexican citizen. And the idea of being a dual citizen is very appealing to us, because she becomes a citizen, and then I can become a citizen because I will marry her. So that is really attractive, because as you see it, I want to be positive, but America is going down a path that I am not very positive about, and I am worried that in the future it could become pretty autocratic, and I want the option to have more options. So if America takes a hard left, hard right somewhere, and it becomes a different place, I have other options. I have other resources and recourses, and yeah, so that's pretty exciting. And then the fact that if we are residents or citizens, we have access to more things in the country. We'll have access to property, we'll have access to loans, things like that. So that's pretty exciting. We don't have to leave every 6 months. We could just stay as long as we want. It's cool. And so, yeah, those are like my main reasons. And then, I think I already said, like, affordability, just affordability. And of course, there's going to be naysayers who say, like, why are you moving to Mexico? You're part of the problem. You're making it harder for other people, or or the locals of that country it's going to be harder for them to live. And I say to that, that's some bullshit. I am a product. Maybe that's true for a person who is a white person who's had a lot of privilege in their life. Maybe. I am a black person. I am a person of color who is a product of slavery and colonization in the United States. My family, my ancestors, my family members have had to suffer here in this country and been abused, raped, murdered for their labor. And then their descendants, me, have to continue to suffer. And I'm like, I am privileged to live in this country, been born in the United States, went to college, even though I'm in a massive amount of debt to do that. And I have the privilege of being able to make American dollars, and I have the citizenship of, being an American. I'm going to take that elsewhere. I'm going to use my history and, of colonization and slavery, and I'm going to use it in a positive to better my life and my future. And that's my stance on it. And I don't care if other people don't agree. So, I'm really excited about moving to Mexico. Should be moving before the end of the year, 2024, before the middle of the year. I'm trying to move in no later than June of 2024. So very exciting plans and activities coming up. I mean, leaving the country is a big deal. There's lots to do. I only have 4 months to do it, but I'm really excited. I'm so excited to get out of here and experience something different, and to be around people who are happier and healthier. It's coming. So anyway, that's why I am leaving the United States and I'm moving to Mexico. There are just so many positives about moving to Mexico, and those were only a few things that I mentioned. There's probably way more, but I'm gonna enjoy this and enjoy society in in Mexico. I'm going to enjoy the society of Mexico and the country and the people, and hopefully, I love it, and if I don't, I'm gonna move around. I'm not gonna, Mexico's a huge country. It's about half the size of the United States. I'm gonna go to Puerto Vallarta. I'm gonna go to Guadalajara. I'm gonna go to Mexico City. I'm gonna go to Merida. I'm gonna go all over. I'm gonna go see most of this country, and I'm gonna see what works for me and if it's where I want to stay long term. And maybe it's not. Maybe we go there, me and my partner, and we're only there for 5 years and we enjoy it, but we're like, actually, we don't want to stay here. We want to go elsewhere. And then we leave. And that's the luxury of just having freedom, of mobility and being able to travel. So I am pumped. Super pumped. All right. That's all I got to say. I'm rambling now. I will see y'all in the next video. Thanks for watching. See ya.